That was strange. Oh, hey, you're still here. Sorry to have kept you waiting. It took a bit longer than I had anticipated. Please let me make it up to you by telling you about a game called the Shipwreck Arcana, but just give me a second to refresh myself, okay? That's much better. So, the Shipwreck Arcana, a game I was immediately drawn to because of three things. The theme, the aesthetics, and the name. The Shipwreck Arcana. Sounds really cool, right? Then I learned that it's a cooperative game. I nevertheless got it because it promised to be an interesting spin on the genre that is cooperative deductive games, and that's something I can cope with. The theme is, you and your allies are trapped in a drowned world, and in order to escape certain doom, you have to predict each other's fates. Sounds strange, right? Well, the theme is completely superfluous to the game, but alongside the name and the neat tarot cards included, it makes for quite the ambience and atmosphere. Then again, atmosphere alone isn't everything. There needs to be gameplay to back it up. Does the Shipwreck Arcana deliver in that regard? Well, let me show you how it plays. There's a total of 21 tiles numbered 1 to 7 in this bag, and at the beginning of the game each player draws one of those, looks at it, keeps it secret from the other players. Then the starting player begins and they draw a second tile. Then they look at this row of cards over here and play one of their tiles under one of these cards according to the rules specified on the card. Afterwards, the other players may guess which number is on the tile that the active player is still holding. If they guess correctly, they get a point. If they guess incorrectly, doom advances. Also, when a certain number of tiles is played under each of these cards, the card fades and doom advances as well, unless the other players guess correctly at this very moment. But if a card fades, you also get a special ability that makes deducing stuff easier. Once one of these two markers reaches the end spot, the game ends and you either win or lose. Upon reading the rules, I was very excited because that sounded pretty clever, and it is. The deduction is straightforward, but you can pull off some cool moves by playing or decidedly not playing a tile to a certain card. Oftentimes, the fact that you don't play to a certain card gives the other players more information than the card you play to. So, what else have you got, game? You don't have anything else, do you? Don't get me wrong. There's a time and a place for games of all scales and magnitudes, and a streamlined experience is certainly more preferable to a bloated mess of a game that does a lot of things but none of them right. But with the Shipwreck Arcana, I get the impression that there's a neat system here that's looking for and failing to find a purpose. The guessing right gives you points, guessing wrong and wasting time advances doom mechanic feels like the path of least resistance to making this more a game and less of an activity. And at the end of the day, it isn't even that challenging of a game. Sure, you can play on higher difficulty levels, but that just changes the number of spaces that the doom marker has to travel before you lose the game. And with a bit of a talent for deduction and logical reasoning, you can mostly stop it from moving altogether, except for the occasional situation where you don't have all of the information you needed yet. And that's a bit of a problem. I've beaten the game on all difficulty levels without any real trouble, except for the highest one, where you can never guess wrong and never have a card fade without guessing at the same moment. And then it's mostly down to luck, whether you have all of the information you need or have to take a guess that might be wrong. I also don't think that the game scales very well. I play it exclusively 2 players because I think it is a hard time mitigating alpha gaming or quarterbacking or whatever you may want to call this phenomenon. Sure, I can tell you where to put your tile, but once you've played one, all of the information is out there and I can see what you're trying to tell me without having to discuss it with other people. And the game actively prohibits you from using the information of what you have on your hand for active discussion. So there's nothing that multiple people can figure out that a single person can't figure out as well. I I guess this sounds a lot more negative than I wanted it to. I like the aesthetic, I like the theme, I like the name, I like the central mechanic. It's a fun puzzle each and every time. What the heck? I guess I just want a bit more of it. If you're cool with having a quick, small, portable brain teaser with an awesome name on top of it, go for it. It's a neat activity to fill a few minutes.